morning.
Good morning.
You feel this Michigan defense is battle tested?
Huh?
Do you feel this Michigan defense is battle tested?
I do. I mean, we've faced as good as offenses you could face. Excited to see what they do. Statistically, I know where we rank and what we are, but just excited to prove to the country how good that we really are.
Sherrone, what do you think Michigan has learned over the last 2 years about getting past this point?
Yeah, I think when you first get to this point, I think a lot of teams are excited. They're excited to get to this stage, and we obviously overcame a lot of things, a lot of obstacles that were in our own path and our own goals at that time. Obviously beating Ohio State and win the Big Ten, so I think there was some kind of, you're satisfied, but I think at this point now, the guys are just so laser focused on the task at hand that you learn to just attack that day. Nothing really matters besides the day that you're in right now, the moment you're in right now, and that's all we're focused on each day, winning the day, and seeing how that takes us into the next one.
And why are you guys been so resilient? Beyond the obvious, Coach Harbaugh and everything else, there's been other stuff. Why have you guys been so resilient to get to this point?
I think just the team's mindset since last January, since after that game last year, there's been a one-track mind in everything everybody's done, and the way that the coaches, the players, Coach Harbaugh has prepared, got the schedules laid out. Every way we've done, it's been our goal has to get to this point and then get to the next one. But we know what we have to do. We know we got a big challenge ahead.
What does an Alabama defense look like? What have you seen this year in year one under Kevin Steele, who's new? He knows Alabama, he knows Nick Saban, and he knows the SEC well, coaching it for a while.
Yeah, first thing you're going to see is physicality. They're going to play with great fundamentals, great technique. They're going to be extremely gap sound, play with discipline, and they're going to be fast. They're going to be athletic at every position. Every guy on the defense is probably going to get drafted. Every guy on the defense is probably going to play in the NFL for a long time. So you're going to see a bunch of talented guys, but not only with the talent, you see a bunch of guys that play as a team and as a unit, very similar to our defense. So we know that they're a really good defense. We know they play against really good teams, but we're just very excited to play this team, physical football team, and try to match that physicality and that dominance that they have.
What's your message to your team when a team like that is going to have a lot of people drafted? Do you guys look at that, or you kind of just say, let's just play ball?
I think the biggest thing for us is we're just really focused on us, focused on what we can do, not putting as much focus on how many guys they're going to have drafted and all that stuff. But we know they're a really good football team, so we're just focused on what we can do to get better, how we can attack it.
Having served as interim head coach, how has this year developed you as a play caller, as leader of men?
Yeah, been some crazy situations. Been fun, been very exciting. Obviously blessed that Coach Harbaugh gave me the opportunity to do that with this football team, and just super excited for what the team has done. I just try to make sure I made the right decisions at the right times to help us, put us in position to win those football games. And that, it was really all big trust in the players. The players just played outstanding throughout every game and gave me confidence to do things and make those decisions that, whether it was being aggressive, whether it was kicking the field goal, whatever it was, those players on the field really made the decisions a lot easier for me than anything else.
What are your early impressions of Jadyn Davis?
I think he's been a really good player. Talented, smart, high character, high football IQ for a young guy. Very, very excited to watch his development as a quarterback.
How much has he been able to? Has he done much throwing with you guys so far? Or
Yeah, he's done a little bit. He's done a little bit in practice and individuals, and a couple team sessions, 7-on-7s. His arm is what we thought it is. Really good, really accurate. But he's going to have a learning curve like every freshman does. So it's just going to be learning the playbook, seeing how the game speeds up or slows down for him, and see where it goes from there.
Jim Harbaugh has said that teams have been double-teaming Colston Loveland. Nick Saban's brought him up. How do you prepare for that? Prepare him for that possibility?
Yeah, I think with a player like Colston, we've got to be ready for that, especially in this stage, in this setting with this much time to prepare. So we got to do as much as we can to make sure that they can do that in different ways and figure out different ways to put him in position to be successful.
What's about a Nick Saban coach defense that sets out to you on tape? Does he do the same things? Is he multiple? Or what about their sets are going to give you guys a problem?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's the players. The kids that they've recruited are extremely talented, but they also play with extreme discipline and physicality, and that stands out now. That stands out when you go back and watch 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, all the way back to 2012, whatever it is. You watch Nick Saban since he's been there, and that defense, it's different kids, different players there. But the style of defense is the same.
As far as cornerbacks go, Kool-Aid McKinstry, one of the top ones in the nation. What does he do well that sets him apart from so many D-backs in the past?
Yeah, starts with his talent level, God-given ability. He uses that well, but he's very disciplined in what he does. Plays great eyes, great speed. Knows how to and when to break on footballs at the right time. So he's just a really good football player, and he doesn't get beat much because he's very physical, very handsy at the line of scrimmage, and he's got good ball skills. So he's one of those all-around corners that you would have to deal with.
What do you as coaches have to do to make sure this team plays their best in a position that's been a spot of heartbreak in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think for us right now, we just let these guys be them this whole year. It's been a one-track mindset of what we're doing, and just let them be them. There's no pressure. We're just going to go out there and let it rip.
With the talent in the secondary, is there any messaging to JJ about maybe not forcing things or trying to force a play, knowing that with the talent they have there?
No, I mean, for us, it's going to be how can we get him in the best position to be successful and let him be him, because I think he's as good as any quarterback in the country. So don't want to spur his head, and I love the gunslinger mentality he has. And, we'll just make sure we hone it in, but we're not going to tell him, hey, you don't need to do anything. Just let JJ be JJ.
Is Miles 100%, and have you determined who your starting five will be out there?
Miles is 100, and yeah, we'll see.
On that gunslinger mentality in regards to JJ, of course, he gets to throw in practice, he gets to work on his own individual stuff, but how do you keep that kind of locked-in mentality when you have to take a month break from games?
Yeah, I think really he's done it himself. His own film study, his own self-scout, as well as us, Coach Harbaugh, Coach Campbell, the rest of the staff, and what he's done. Really, he's done that himself, and really proud of the way he's progressed this month and what he's done, and as well as all our kids. They've just the focus that they've had throughout this whole preparation has been awesome, and to watch them leave for Christmas break and then come back and just start right back up where it went. It's been really awesome, really cool. It's felt a little different in that phase that the kids are just so locked in and one-track minded on what's going to go on and not worried about any outside noise.
Sherrone, yesterday Jalen said that Alex Orji has been playing Jalen Milroe on scout team. What have you seen from him, and how is he doing in that role right now?
Yeah, I mean, when we are together and I get a time to see Alex do that, what you see is he has the ability to make plays with his legs, but he's done a really, really fabulous job with his arm, getting in, creating throwing lanes with his legs to get open throws, making accurate throws down the field, making the intermediate throws, doing the things you kind of see Jalen does. It's hard to simulate Milroe and what he does in the game because of the fact how good of a player he is. So, but Alex has done a tremendous job, and excited for. Just glad that we have him to use as a scout team player to simulate Jalen.
And do you anticipate using or putting in some packages for him against Alabama in the same way that you've done kind of the last few games?
I can't answer that one.
Coach, a lot of teams have to manufacture motivation to get up to these games, but obviously with Coach Harbaugh's suspension and all that your team's been through this year, you guys have really embraced that Michigan versus the world mentality. Do you think that's a strong unifier that really united this season?
Yeah, I think this team was motivated and unified enough in January, and that just added log to the fire, just added spark, and just motivated these kids even more. I told somebody this is one of the most special teams I've ever been around, probably the most special team I've been around from a camaraderie standpoint. And it really started in the spring. You could see it develop in the summer, and then develop in fall camp. And really in fall camp is where you kind of saw the team mesh, not just offense, defense, special teams, but you saw everybody become one. And it's just been really cool to watch this team. And I think those things help, but really the team's motivated by one goal.
As far as quarterbacks that you've worked with, how special is JJ McCarthy?
Probably the best one I've been around. from a mental standpoint, from a physical ability standpoint, from an arm strength standpoint. He's really special. As a player, I played with Sam Bradford, so I didn't get to observe the things that he did from a fundamental and all those. And obviously, he was the first pick of the draft, and I think he was really good. The difference is that JJ has the mobility standpoint, which Sam didn't have, and Sam was an excellent quarterback. And played, got to coach Teddy Bridgewater at Louisville, saw his progression. He was obviously a first-round quarterback. I think JJ has that same moxie and that it factor about him. But there's just something about JJ, and I've known the kid since he was a young kid in Chicago, and he's always had it, and he just continues to show it. Very excited to see him on the stage on Monday.
Sherrone, do you think he's ready for the NFL now?
Yeah, I think he is. Whether he decides that is something we'll talk about down the road, but I do think he is.
When it comes to the portal, when you're playing in a game like this and you have to prepare for that, how hard is it to give that the attention it needs as well?
Yeah, I think that's just like part of recruiting. When you're in the season, you got to deal with recruiting. Now you're at the end of it, you got to deal with that. It's just part of it. You have to adjust. You have to be able to adapt to the new times, and obviously it's helped us. So we definitely have enough staff and people to help us, minimize the distractions for us as coaches, especially in the position of calling plays and coaching the O-line. So our staff has done a great job getting those guys in front of us that we need to be able to see and be able to watch, and it's really helped us, especially up front, the guys we've been able to bring in to help us throughout the year. So it's been a little bit, it is what it is, though. So from a recruiting standpoint, it's just like recruiting. You got to manufacture and do it, and make sure you're up to date on it.
Alabama loses Will Anderson last year, and they just bring up Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. What's it like having to prepare for two elite edge rushers that could give you your tackle fit?
Yeah, I mean, they're really, really good players. They're long, they're physical, they're fast. They play with great effort. There's a couple clips of Dallas Turner chasing people down from the backside, like 50 yards. Auburn breaks a big run to the right. Dallas Turner chases it down, tackles the guy. So we know we have to play with immense strain, immense technique, and we're prepared. We got a plan for how to attack, those edge rushers and what we need to do. But they're gonna make plays. We're gonna make plays. It's just like a heavyweight boxing match, and we've got to do our best to go attack them as much as they're gonna try to attack us.
I talked to one of your offensive linemen over there. He said that you guys are prepping by watching even like Georgia because Nick Saban and Kirby, that connection. What is the key on doing that to see kind of Nick Saban's defense through some of the people that used to coach under him?
Yeah, I think the big thing is you're just trying to see the personality of the defense, how they align, the different sets, different formations. We're going to try to create some confusion for them. So we got to figure out the things that have done that, and if there hasn't, we got to try to figure out what can. Try to figure out different things from a structural standpoint to see what they do, how they do it, to help us be successful.
We're eclipsing the one-year mark here of Blake and Donovan both suffering separate injuries. What have you seen out of their ability to kind of get some rest and relaxation over the course of the last month?
Yeah, I think this has been huge for both of them. Those guys have really done a great job taking care of their bodies. Blake looks like he got bigger again, put on more muscle, just like Superman. And so does Donald. Donald looks ripped and lean. But both of those guys, man, just excited to watch them progress in this game, do what they do on the stage, because they've definitely done a great job with their bodies, with their, especially as a running back and playing in the conference we play in, it's super physical. You're going to get hit, you're going to get hit hard, you're going to deliver hits, you're going to get hit. And those guys have done a great job of progressing from an injury standpoint. Excited to see where they are on Monday.
Well, Drake, Carson, and Travers have been just as equally big for them.
Yeah, it's been great. I think all the old linemen, in what we do, especially in the last game we played, a physical football team. The really last 4 games we played, physical, violent games, and you need this time to get your bodies just naturally to rest, and it's been really good for us. We've done a great job getting back into that physical phase to help us prepare mentally and physically for what we're going to have on Monday. So this has just been a great time for us as well.
Sure, you've spoken highly of AJ's blocking ability throughout the season, but in a game like this, with the type of edge rushers that they have, what type of luxury is it to have someone with his size and his ability out on the edge?
Yeah, it's great. Another guy that I'm very happy we got in the portal, and proud that he's on our team. a player standpoint, from a person standpoint, and he's just done a really good job
5-minute
for us.
warning. We will switch the players and coach in 5 minutes.
And just excited for us to have him. He's done an amazing job, and just excited that we do have him.
You guys have the beat Georgia drill, obviously, the talk of the offseason. I don't think it's applicable to this specific team, and considering that they're basically the progenitor of what Georgia was anyway.
Yeah, it's the same. Same physicality, same mindset that you're going to have in that drill, whether it's that or it's Bama, whoever it is. But when you get to this stage in the college football playoff, whoever you're going to play is going to be really good and really physical. So your mindset has to be ready for whoever it is.
What's the balance like for you when you have a month to sharpen things up, tighten things up, all the stuff that you've already been doing, and then also adding new wrinkles to try to throw off a team that you're seeing for the first time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is to try to, add those things, do those things, but also not confuse our players. So as much as we can do and throw at them, because we got a really smart football team, but make sure that they're playing fast and physical is really the balance. And once you feel like they've got it and you can use something else, then you do it. If they can't handle it, then you don't run it. And we're still got to be us and still do what we do, but be able to adjust, especially when you have time like this, to try to keep them off balance as well.
Is there such, do too much or do too little? I mean, how hard is it to find that balance?
You know what? I found it harder here because of the players we have. We just have really good players and really smart guys, so it's always harder with the players that we have to find that balance. At other places I've been, it's been, you kind of know that you can't do this, you can't do that. With our guys, I mean, they learn stuff in like a day, and it's just like you're amazed at how smart they are, but it's also because of the love of football that they have. So you can do so many things with them, and it's fun for a coach. And then sometimes they're throwing stuff at you. Hey, coach, I saw this play. I get text messages at 12:30 at night of plays, and like I got a play from Mikey the other day. I'm like, Mikey, you're still on defense, bro. Now you want an offensive package, you want this. But these kids love football, and it makes it easy to do when you have kids like that.
When it comes to Alex, I talked to Jim a few days ago. He said that he reminds him of Jalen Milroe. He said that he could see Alex turning into something like Jalen for Michigan. Is that something that you see?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's not him now. Jalen's a little bit more polished of a player, but I think Alex has all the ability in the world, and the kid loves football. He's tough. He's physical. He looks like a great guy. We've told him many times. I don't like him with his shirt off around us because it embarrasses me and everybody else around. The dude's jacked, but he is also he loves football. He loves the game. He loves the grind. He loves everything about it, and he's got a chance to be a very special player down the road.
Do you see him competing for that starting job when JJ leaves?
Yeah, I think everybody's going to have a chance. We don't, it doesn't matter who it is, the best player's going to play, so just excited to have him on our team.
Sherrone, what was the offensive package that Mikey wanted at midnight?
I can't even go into that right now. It was pretty good, though, so maybe, we'll see.
What have you seen from Jadyn Davis thus far? Just a couple practices in, obviously, but Mike Barrett was even saying yesterday that for a guy who's only been here for a couple of days, he was really well.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he's going to be a really good player. Great arm talent, great accuracy, very, very smart, intuitive for a kid that's just got here in a couple of days and meshes well with the team already. It's cool to watch these freshmen, him, the young linemen that are here, and watch them blend in with the older guys. The cool thing about our team is that there's no hazing, there's no rite of passage. It's come in and figure out who's going to help you win. And he's done a great job these past couple of days this week, and just excited for him in his future.
Can you tell that him and JJ have kind of a connection going back a couple of years?
Yeah, you can tell for sure. And I think it's just a quarterback thing too. All the quarterbacks all get along. They're like brothers. There's always the competitive edge there, competitive piece, because there's only one quarterback on the field, but they definitely get along very well. And he meshes well. He kind of has the factor that JJ has, that it factor where people just kind of gravitate towards him. And it's been really cool to watch him develop as we've gone through.
Sherrone, now that you're back in just defensive coordinator duties, what is the biggest difference you've noticed in, how your life or how things week-to-week practice changed, now that Jim's back?
Yeah, I mean, for the first thing is I get way more text messages after games because I was the head coach for those games.
Last questions, and then we're going to have the players and
really
coaches switch
for me
rooms.
is, one game day I have to talk to refs. I don't really like talk to refs. I'll let coach do that. He does that at a high level. But for me, really, I got to feel and see the game from a different perspective. I like my perspective, just calling the plays and handling the offensive line. I like that. I let coach do the other piece. But really, that's been the biggest piece is having to handle all the other things that he had to handle when I was the interim. And I like just being back with the boys, being back with the guys, and getting the game plans ready.
Getting more sleep, guys.
Get more sleep? I mean, I did a little bit last night. My two daughters were on me again, so, but getting more sleep, yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.